Yeah, it's just going back to that situation. So, I mean, you're out in Afghanistan as a young guy. You go through deployment. How many deployments did you ultimately?
4.
4 total.
Yeah.
Is that average, or I mean, is that pretty standard?
It depends on how long you're in. I was really, really blessed with the timing. So in that first year, I got to do that trip.
Okay.
So I got to do 4 trips total in a 5-year enlistment, which most of the time guys would have 3, but just the timing worked out for me.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Anything that stands out as like the career moment for you and on any of your time in the Army?
That's a great question. What would be a career moment? I would actually say one of the best times I had was when I was with this group of guys right here.
Okay.
So that was my squad. I was in weapons squad, and me and that fella right there, that guy standing in front of me.
Yep.
Leandro Hasso, we were really, really good friends, and we were a machine gun team. And that was like a 2 to 3 week event we did down in California. I believe it was near San Jose.
Okay.
Is there a mill base?
There's a few down there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some National Guard stuff down there.
Yeah. So we were doing a big training event down there.
Okay.
And I would say just the highlight, it's funny because you'd think overseas or something, but just the bonding we had as a team, me, him, and our whole squad, because we performed really, really well during that training event. Everybody was on the same page. It was just a really, really fun time.
That's cool. So you keep coming back to the training and the teamwork stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and the being squared away and just having your stuff together. That's what I get about you. And that's why I was so, excited about having that opportunity to meet with you, because when I see, and I want to talk about this, but when I see what you're kind of putting out on social media, and that's kind of where our world lives, that's how you find out about people. It seems very much that way. It's very squared away. What you see, what I'm hearing from you now is what I see in the media. It's nothing, it's not flashy. It's not anything other than, hey, we're doing these things and we're trying to do these things really, really well. We're not trying to get outside our lane here. And I find that very refreshing, dude.
Yeah, I think you nailed it with that. When we started, I was apprehensive to do all the social media stuff at first. But then it really came down to how, that's just how you do it nowadays, like you said.
Right.
That's how you advertise.
Yeah, it is. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It still feels weird to me, in this environment. I just sort of found a comfort zone in being able to sit down with guys like you and have these conversations. But honestly, we'll circle back to that. So you go through the Army, and you're there for what, 4 or 5 years? 5 years?
Yeah.
And then it's just done. I mean, did you know that early on that I'm going to do my time here and then I'm going to be done? Or was there something that happened along the way that was like, okay, I'm done. I can't keep doing this?
Yeah. So I don't know if I ever had the idea of making a career out of it.
Okay.
But I would say about halfway through my military career is when I kind of decided that I was going to get out and pursue the exercise science type stuff.
Okay.
I remember when I first got in and got to battalion, I don't remember his name, but whoever was the guy in charge when they were on block leave, so this is probably E7 or an E8, he gave a speech to all the guys that just came in. And it was a really impactful speech, and he made a lot of sense. Later on, I understood what he was saying. He talked about how at Ranger Battalion, it's very, very intense life because it's deployment, training cycle, back and forth, and there's not many breaks. So I didn't have a family, thankfully. For guys that have families, that'd be extremely difficult.
Brutal, I'm sure.
But he said something along the lines of that Ranger Battalion is like this fire-breathing dragon. You can only handle it for so long. And if you handle it for too long, you're going to end up burnt.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the beginning, that's the first thing I heard when I got there. I was like, okay. Then halfway through, it's a pretty stressful life. It's nonstop. So then I was like, yeah, I'm just going to probably get out after that last trip and pursue the exercise science. So
it's interesting. I just recently talked to another Ranger, and he was saying almost the same thing.
Oh, really?
Very similar career path in terms of timing.
Interesting.
He said the same thing in that the stress that you're under, like you handle it, but then you look at the outside world and you see that as, you know what, the outside world is not so stressful. Like I could go to college, I could get a degree, I could choose whatever job I want. There's so many things I can be doing. So that's effectively what you decided kind of early on. And so you exit and you go straight into college. What do you do?
So I got into University of Illinois into the kinesiology program, which was pretty cool because I always wanted to go to U of I, right? Growing up as an Illinois kid.
Okay.
But I got out in May And I had until not the summer, the spring semester, no, fall, the fall semester to attend class. So I had all this break time. So I did a super long road trip, did pretty much every national park you'd want to hit in the western half of the country, which was pretty awesome. That's when I first came out to Utah.
So you just pack up a car and just go?
Yeah, so I had 2 cars at the time.
Okay.
I was not good with my money.
Okay.
So I had a 4Runner that I had to put like 2 engines in, and then I had a Honda Civic.
Okay.
So I just bought cheap cars thinking that was going to save me money, because I never really saved money. My goal was more experiences.
Okay.
You know? But either way, I drove the 4Runner home on like a day and a half drive, just like only got 2 hours of sleep, went straight through, flew back to Oregon to my buddy's house, got my Honda Civic. And then, had the vehicle packed up. I had a kayak on top. So I went like kayaking at Glacier National Park.
Oh, dope.
Oh, It was that place is my favorite park in the whole country.
I got skunked there 2 years ago because of the fires during COVID. We had driven up to see the park, and Canada was burning down on the other side of the border, and there were a lot of fires going on up there, and we couldn't get into the park. First off, there was a line to get in, but they had it shut down. They had parts of the road shut down, and that had been on my bucket list for basically the better part of my life. We couldn't get in the short window of time that we had to spend there. So I need to get back up there. I haven't done it
It's
yet.
amazing.
That's what I hear.
Have you been to Many Glacier? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
So there's a sect of the park. I didn't know this till I went there. So I get there, and there's, what is that main road? Rising Sun or something like that? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, road,
and
exactly.
I get there, and that's a drive. So I'm like, okay, I'm not, I didn't come here to drive, right? And so I do the kayaking in that lake in the main glacier park. It was super cool. All right, that was fun. I go talk to the park ranger, and I say, so, like, what else is there, you know? And he's like, hey, you got to go up to Many Glacier. So it's a sect of the park way up by the Canadian border. Okay. Like, you have to go out of the park from the south, head east, I believe. Or is it west?
I think it's west, and you can go around. No. There's one that, sorry. I looked at the map. I had to spend a lot of time on the map trying to figure out how the hell we were going to get in the park, right?
It's confusing.
Because we couldn't get, across through the, whatever that road of the rising sun or whatever you call it. Yeah. But I think you can go all the way around, on the east side and come up to the pop up.
So that is called Many Glacier. Okay. And literally, so I head to this place. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. Like, you're driving and there ain't nothing. But like you said, you're going around it. Right. So I can see the mountains. But then you're going way around because there's not many roads out there. And then it gets dark. And then it's like the sign, Many Glacier, turn left. That's it. You know those brown national park signs?
Yeah. They all look the same.
Yep. And it's a horribly kept road. Super bumpy. And it's like pitch black out.
In the Civic.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, boom, 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 boom,
with the kayak strapped to the top.
Yeah. So I'm driving. A really weird experience, actually. I get in there, and I don't remember there even being like a check-in station, because you're so far out there. It's almost like just, you're good.
It's a free-for-all.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of worried, right? Because I haven't seen people in hours.
In a while?
Yeah. I even had to stop at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody out there. So a little bit freaked out. Like, I have no idea where I'm at. It's pitch black. Don't know what anything looks like. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll find like a campsite or something, because there's got to be one there, right? National park. Driving, can't see anything. And I haven't thought about this in so long. This is funny. And I drive, and all of a sudden I'm in the road in the park, and I see these 2 people walking down the road. One's got a guitar, and there's 2 hippies like stoned out of their mind. And they're
so
like,
appropriate.
I'm like, hey, we're talking. They're acting all weird. Nowadays, I didn't know what like somebody high on marijuana looked like, because I'd never met one.
Really? You'd never experienced anybody?
Well, in the military, you don't do that. And you're not around it. Right. I didn't really do it before in high school.
Gotcha. You had mentioned you were a pretty squared away kid, yeah.
So I just like, these dudes are acting super weird. And they're like, yeah, man, like just head up to the hotel or something. Like, okay, so I keep driving, and there's this hotel.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like in the mountains, kind of. And it seems pretty cool. Really weird situation. I don't know. I can't figure out. There's all these cars, but there's no people. All the lights in the hotel are off. I see this one person go into this building. I kind of tried to go in there. It was really, really creepy. Weird story. Anyways, I sleep in the car.
You don't go in, you're done.
No, it's like I follow. There was a person, they got out of their car, went into this building, maybe the size of like a regular house, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, the door's just wide open with the light on. So I'm like, that's weird. I go in and I'm like, hello? And there's nobody in there. And all the doors are just open to the rooms.
Sounds like a weird
And I kind of
movie.
like lean in to look in one of the rooms, and it's just a bed with sheets on.
You did the right thing, man.
And I'm like, I'm out of here.
You did the right thing. I get the fuck out of that. Yeah.
So then I just went and slept in the car. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
but
made
then the coolest part was I woke up in the morning because I had no idea what anything looked like around me, and it was gorgeous.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there was nobody out there.
Yeah.
I saw moose and bear that day.
What a cool trip to be able to go and
Yeah,
kind of just
that was right at the beginning of the trip.
Run it wide open for, what'd you say, 3 months?
3 months. Yeah, I think I spent like $3,000.
That's it in 3 months, right? In the Honda Civic.
Yeah, I was living off of, because I was into fitness and healthy eating, right? So I'd go, I don't know if this is necessarily healthy. Back then I thought it was. I'd go and get like, you know, turkey and chicken, like all sliced up from the deli, and a bunch of fruit. And I had a cooler in my Civic.
That's what you
And like
lived
raw
on.
broccoli. I'd just be eating that. It was gross.
Oh, I get it. That was before gas was $5 a gallon too.
Yeah.
So,
Right.